Hey, hi, hello, I'm christenareckless and welcome back to my page. Today, I bet you guessed it, we are going to be doing some more Am I the Asshole stories from Reddit. So buckle up, Buttercup, we got some crazy stories today. I don't know if you're ready. I don't know if I'm ready, but we're gonna do it anyway. Starting off kind of crazy with, am I the asshole for not telling my girlfriend's parents that I speak their language for almost 3 years because they didn't ask? I'm going to withhold my judgment for now. That is a crazy title. I have some thoughts. I'm gonna keep them to myself for now. Let's see what's going on. My girlfriend's parents speak Russian. I also speak Russian. Nothing about me would hint at that. My great-grandpa picked it up as a POW, gave it on to his children, and so did they. I took a Russian course ages ago to make the most out of my random rudimentary Russian and just kept listening to it and watching Russian content now and then, and kept it, holy run-on sentence, and kept it at what I would say is a decent conversational level. My English is much better and my French and Italian are better as well. Therefore, never had any reason to show that off. Never thought of it much. Met my girlfriend and she is Russian roots but doesn't speak Russian. It was never a topic. Her parents are native Russian speakers but also speak perfect German, which is my language. You couldn't tell they weren't born here. Those two do, however, have some short comments back and forths in Russian sometimes. Nothing delicate, nothing the rest of us wouldn't be allowed to hear. We always speak German, and it's no issue for anyone. Their upbringing is almost never a topic apart from some funny anecdotes here and there about life as a kid back then. Nothing deep. The other day, a family friend of them, also Russian, came by. Nice evening, as always. As older generations sometimes do, they were mocking my generation in a light-hearted, banter, joking kind of way. The friend at one point said something about how much tougher they are compared to us, in an equally joking banter kind of way. 100% that was the tone. I am certain I didn't overstep on accident. I said, not literally, what would be best be described as, well, bitch, I hope you're not scared to put your money where your mouth is, in Russian. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. Crazy first sentence to allow them to hear you speak in Russian. I'm a little confounded. I don't know if that was the right move. You know what? Let's keep going. Maybe there's some more context I'm missing here. Shocked silence. Maybe I'm not missing any context. Rough language is normal. They wouldn't be offended over just a bit of banter, I promise. Are you sure about that? Like, maybe not normally among friends, and peers, but maybe they didn't see you that way. Huh. Later, my girlfriend said that they were really disturbed that I was fluent in Russian. Wouldn't say that I am, but that's besides the point, and just left them in the dark about it. The thing is, they never asked. It was never a topic. They knew my great-grandpa was a POW in Siberia. I told them that when it was actually the topic. And we joked about it because some of the mother's family were locked up there at the same time as well. Haha, they were cellmates kind of thing. But the language thing never came up, and I just didn't think much about it. Nothing of any gravity has ever happened in Russian in the household. Half of their family doesn't even speak it. We all speak German to each other. I don't see how this matters. I wasn't eavesdropping either. They never shared a secret in Russian while I was there. I would have said something if that was the case, but it only ever was some random BS. So now they are crossed because apparently I kept a major secret from them. I'm confused because nobody cared about that before. It wouldn't have changed a thing. We understood each other fine and still do. My girlfriend is stressed because she can see both sides, but also thinks the drama is annoying and pointless. Am I guilty? Alright, it does say an edit here. His girlfriend did know that he spoke Russian. But I'm not sure that's true. It could be, so we're gonna pretend it is. Here's what I think. In my experience, when it comes to being around people who speak a different language other than myself, as well as my native tongue, there are things that are said in their native language that they don't want other people to hear, and they speak in their native language to ensure that they have privacy. To them, it's not about exactly what was said, it's about the principle that they could have had a private conversation, or at least that's what they thought they were having with you around, when in reality you heard everything that they said, whether or not it was intended for you. I do think that is a personal boundary that a lot of people would have. I don't think that you would appreciate if you were speaking a different language that you assumed no one else could speak besides the person you were talking to, and then you find out 3 years later that they could speak the same tongue as you, and they understood everything, no matter the context. Yeah, I don't think you'd be happy about that. It might not matter to you because you weren't on the receiving end of this, but it obviously matters to them. The Reddit verdict is not an asshole, but I'm not sure I agree with that. Just because you don't think something is important doesn't mean it's unimportant to somebody else. And I think that you should remember that, OP, for next time. All right, moving on to story number 2. Am I the asshole for not getting my daughter-in-law coffee because she hates tea? No? I don't know. What? You know what? My brain is short-circuiting. What do you mean? What does that title mean? You didn't get her coffee because she hates tea. Is coffee tea? No? Then why didn't you get her a coffee? Because it's not tea. Alright, you know what? We're going in. This feels really stupid, and I need to know if I am the problem here or not. My son seems to think that I am the problem. My daughter-in-law loves coffee. She is the type of person that will go get coffee every morning. It is not uncommon that if she goes out to get coffee, she will pick up coffee for other people as well. Well, she seems thoughtful. That's nice. The issue is she will never get me a tea or any tea lattes. As she puts it, it is leaf water that she doesn't want to waste her money on. I'm asking her to get a $5 thing of tea if she is already picking up everyone $8 fancy coffees. I'm asking for a tea latte or an iced tea that I literally can't make at the time. Okay. So she comes back with everyone's drink but mine. It is really frustrating on trips because I will be driving most of the time. She takes everyone's orders and goes in while I'm either getting gas or snacks for the trip to come back without any caffeine. Then I have to go into the shop to get my drink. Oh, that's not very thoughtful. There have been so many times she asked in the chat if anyone wants something at Starbucks. I tell her what I want and then she comes back with everyone's drinks but mine. Talking to her doesn't help. She just claims I can make it at home. To the issue, I was going over to babysit the grandkids for my son and daughter, so 4 adults. I sent a text saying I was stopping at Starbucks and asked if they wanted anything. This is the exact same thing she does. They gave me their orders and I decided that I wouldn't get my daughter-in-law her drink to make a point, basically. I got to where everyone was and gave everyone their drink besides my daughter-in-law. She was pissed and I pointed out that this is the same thing she does with me all the time. She told me it wasn't the same and I can make tea at home. I told her to make her coffee at home and the pot was right there. We got into a fight and my son told me to apologize and get her drink. I told him no and I am tired of this. I have spoken to them multiple times and if she doesn't change what she does, I will never get her drink when I get drinks for others. They left, but after babysitting, I am still hearing about it. I need your opinion. Alright, so you want my honest opinion, and I do see that there is an edit here. I'm going to give my opinions and thoughts before I read the edit to this post. I think everyone sucks. I think that what you did sucked because you are the elder of the group, and I'm not saying that elders always have to take everything that's always thrown at them. No, but this is your son's wife, and I do think that counts for something. You said talking to them doesn't help. I'm not sure that's true. I don't think that you genuinely sat down and said how much this bothers you, because if that's the case, you would have said so. You would have said so. Anything to get the internet on your side with these posts. I think that you took it personally. It seems like it could be personal, but she did give you a reason. I didn't say it was valid. I did not say that reason was valid, but she did give you a reason. Your reason was to get back at her, and I do think that makes you kind of a sucky person. Just as I think that denying you tea for whatever reason is sucky, you know, especially if she's getting everyone else's drinks except yours. My verdict so far is that everyone kind of sucks here. Yeah, but let's dive into that edit, because maybe there's some context that you should have added into the original post. Maybe there's an update. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, well, I got my answer. And the answer, apparently, to Reddit was not the asshole. I disagree, because I do think everybody sucks in this situation. I'm going to send this post to my son and tell him we need to talk ASAP. My son got back to me and told me that we will talk in a bit. Minute by minute updates, it seems. Well, just got off the phone with my daughter-in-law and son. Yes, they have seen this post. I sent it to them. My daughter-in-law apologized and said the issue has nothing to do with me. I thought she just hated me, but this has to do with her own mother. So you didn't talk to her, did you? Did you? You didn't sit down for a genuine conversation, did you, OP? Not until this conversation happened. Isn't that correct? Interesting. They've had a bad relationship, and when they married, I'm assuming the son and daughter-in-law, didn't wish for that type of relationship to happen again with me. It also didn't help that her sister has a horrible mother-in-law, so she thought she needed to be distant and cold off the start. So yes, she was being rude on purpose. This post kind of opened her eyes, and she was acting like her mother acts. Yeah, but she wasn't being rude specifically because of you. She was being rude because she was trying to protect herself, whereas you were being rude because you wanted to hurt her. So you're not any better. Please do not put yourself up on a fucking pedestal. Get off your high horse. You are not better. Okay, thanks. I informed them that I won't put up with being disrespected anymore, and hopefully nothing backtracks. We seem good now, but I have a feeling more talks will happen. My son also apologized and realized he went too far in the direction of support your spouse. He admits he did the easy thing because we don't live together. Anyways, thank you, Reddit. This was helpful. I don't think it was as helpful as it should have been for you. No, I have a pet peeve when it comes to entitled, vindictive parents. Because you should know better. You should know better. But anyway, yeah, verdict still stands. You're an asshole. She's kind of an asshole. You all suck. Moving on. Am I the asshole for telling my husband that paternity leave isn't a holiday? No. No, this story would have to swing so far in the other direction for me to consider you an asshole for saying that I don't think it's plausible. But we'll see. So, how goes it? I, 30 female, gave birth to our son a few days ago. It was incredibly traumatic. Oh no. That's awful. I hope you're okay. I had a severe postpartum hemorrhage, lost 1.8 liters of blood, and had emergency surgery to remove my placenta. I'm still recovering. Jesus Christ, you're writing this a few days after you gave birth, so whatever it is must be bad, huh? Our son was born with a pulmonary atresia. I don't know if I said that right. With intact ventricular septum and was admitted straight into the NICU. He'll likely need heart surgery. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, OP. And we've since been told that they found another abnormality they're investigating. My husband has a son from a previous relationship. We'll name him Greg. I want to be clear that I have no issues with Greg meeting his little brother or spending time with his dad. I've never asked him to choose between his children. Good. That's good. You should never do that. 2 days after I gave birth, I thought Greg's mom would bring him to meet the baby before taking him home. Instead, my husband collected Greg and spent the entire day with him. Like without you? Like while you're in the hospital? They went on the London Eye, had lunch, he had a beer, then went home to play Xbox until Greg was collected around 9 p.m. I don't like that at all. What the fuck is wrong with these people? During that day, my husband spent around 20 minutes with our newborn in the NICU and barely saw me. What? I'm gonna need a moment. Hold up. It said husband, right? Fuck. Divorce. Divorce. You literally could have lost your fucking life. Your newborn could lose their life, and your husband spent 20 minutes combined with you both. In fact, actually, it was only 20 minutes with your newborn and no minutes with you while you're recovering from giving life and bringing it into this world. You know, I'm not sure marriage is for me. I'm not sure it's for me, and I really hope you realize this. It might not be for you either, because that's awful. You deserve better. You deserve better. I don't know what to tell you other than this is unacceptable, and you shouldn't be treated like this. My mom stayed with me on the postnatal ward, but she couldn't come into the NICU, so I was making my own way to see our son while recovering from major blood loss and surgery. Yeah, wow. When I explained I wasn't upset Greg had visited, but that I hadn't expected to be left all alone all day while our baby was critically ill, my husband became defensive, because of course he did. Because he can't imagine doing anything wrong, can he? He said that he enjoyed spending time with Greg and that he was being a parent. I replied that I wasn't saying he shouldn't parent Greg. I was saying I needed him to be a husband to me and a father to our newborn during what was a medical emergency. Because yes, it's a medical emergency. What? Oh my god, the incompetence. Wow. When I later explained how serious my blood loss had been, his response was, my sister lost 5. 5 liters? And we're comparing trauma? Oh, my sister almost died, so it's okay that you, my wife, almost died as well because she lost more blood than you? Do you fucking hear yourself? That's disgusting. Calm down. It didn't happen to me. But I'm personally offended. Alright, let's get through this fucking story. The next day, I told him doctors had found another abnormality with our son's heart. He complained that nobody had told him. I pointed out he had already left because he'd only spent about 20 minutes in the NICU. I've now been discharged, but our son is still in the NICU. I'm exhausted and terrified to leave him, while my husband has again spent the morning taking Greg to the cinema. I finally told him that the paternity leave isn't supposed to be a holiday, and that I don't feel supported. I said if this is what his paternity leave looks like, I'd almost rather he went back to work because at least then I'd understand why I was doing everything alone. He says I'm being unfair because he's trying to balance both children. Am I the asshole? No, you're not the asshole. Your husband undoubtedly is the worst asshole I've read about so far. You can't balance both children because one child needs extra support and care and attention right now. What you're doing is, here is your son from the other marriage, right? And instead of balancing out what they both need, you're giving all of your attention to this one, while this one over here, the one that's having the medical emergency, is going without. And you see no problem with that. I don't think that you should be called a father. So, have fun with Greg. Hopefully, OP leaves you and takes half of everything you own. Yeah. How about them apples? Yeah, you can suck on those. Yeah, my verdict is not the asshole, not you, my dear. Your husband for sure is. That raised my blood pressure. I can feel it. We're gonna do one more of these stories before it kills me today. Am I the asshole? We left our friend in another country. What is going on with these people? These were all created within the last week, by the way, in case you didn't know. So a couple of years ago, me and 3 other lads went on a holiday to Cyprus. We all get along great and have done for 4 years whilst in uni. This one guy in our group, we'll call him Ellis. He is just the type of guy that says he'll meet us at the train station at 8 a.m. and at 7:30 we'll give him a ring and he's just hopping in the shower and leaving. He'd be late for his own graduation, wedding, funeral. I know some people like that. Yeah. So after 5 days of sunbathing, drinking, and eating good food, it's our final day. We're all chilling in the villa and Ellis decides to go for a hike. No stress, we have 7 hours to leave. He heads off and we say we'll get all his stuff in the car ready to go. It was all packed anyways. That's awfully nice of you to take care of his things and belongings. 3 hours go by and we give Ellis a call saying he needs to turn back now. He says no problem and starts his journey back. He's having coffee at a cafe. He's just taking an afternoon stroll, it seems like. Another 2 hours go by, we call Ellis and he says he's on the way back. He doesn't sound like he's moving. We check his location. He's at a cafe like a 3-hour walk away. It's a Sunday. We don't know any taxi ranks number or anything, so we give him a call saying that he needs to get a lift back to the apartment or meet us at the airport. No worries, lads. I'll run back. You're going to run what would have been a 3-hour walk in how much time do you have left? 2 hours to get to the airport? Have you ran marathons by chance? Because that would be really fucking hard for someone who doesn't do cardio on the daily basis. Or any long distance running. We try and plead for him just to get a taxi, but he's frugal and won't get a taxi, so we text him saying his suitcase is at the villa, and we'll have to leave as our taxi was booked at the last minute anyway. He says that's fine, I'll make it back in time. He doesn't. He doesn't even try to make it back quickly. 3 hours later, we're sat on the plane and we get a flurry of texts. I'm back now, where are you? When's the taxi coming to pick me up? We just had to say we got on the plane and he needs to get the next one. He was fuming. His parents and girlfriend kicked off at us, and I can't help but feel like he deserved it. You are not the asshole. I don't know. You cannot hold this what I'm assuming is a grown man's hand to get him through the schedule. You gave him the time and place where he needed to be when you gave him plenty of opportunities to make it back in time. And now he's mad, and now it's all your fault, even though these are the consequences of his own actions. That's crazy. No, you are not the asshole. I don't think so. In fact, Reddit doesn't think you're the asshole either, so on that one, I do concur. You're in the clear, my dear. You got this. Good job. Actually, I think your friend did deserve it. Maybe next time, he'll be on time. Yeah? Alright, I know this was kind of a heavy thing today. God damn, some people are just not kind. If you don't agree with everything I said, that's okay. You can be wrong. I'm kidding. I do appreciate the different perspectives that I get in the comments. So if you do think that what I think is incorrect or you have a different opinion, please drop it below. I would love to read it. And if you have any interesting stories you would like me to read on my YouTube, go ahead and do me a favor and send it to christenareckless@gmail.com. Maybe you'll see your story up here. Until then, do me a favor, stay reckless, okay? Adios. Bye-bye.